Transition to Standards-Based Grading for Granite Falls High School by Emily Spurrier and Andrea Berry. Traditional grading can be described as grading based solely on factors that don't address learning. This can be broken up into two categories: curriculum and grading. On curriculum, we focus on how traditional grading focuses on simple things such as attendance, so whether a student shows up or not, class rules, whether they follow the rules or not, improvement, whether they show improvement, fitness performance, whether they were fit or not when they got there, and dressing out. Under the grading category, we talk about how traditional grading typically focuses on 1. The behavior, and 2. How much that behavior will be weighted in evaluating the final grades. But what's wrong with this type of grading? First of all, we're simply eyeballing observations, also known as subjective observation, meaning that the grades are subjective to the teacher, to their feelings and to their thoughts, and there's nothing specific to go off of. Next, we have the mismatch of assessment standards. We talked about weighting in the last section, and this means just that our weighting is not matching what we want it to show. Next, we have student motivation. Students aren't motivated to do work if they know that they can get a good grade off of simply dressing out and showing up. Next, we have the marginalization of the profession. PE gets a bad rap for grading because people think it's simply easy to pass, simple to do, and that's just not correct. Another issue in regards of traditional grading is, did learning occur? That's the biggest question to ask. Anyone can show up to class, anyone can dress out, anyone can follow the rules, and anyone can show improvement. But did they learn? And standards-based grading will show you why we can tell if learning has occurred. Content standards are the overall goals for every PE program to meet. The objectives are the individual goals set by individual programs to meet the content standards. Lesson content is then developed to meet the objectives that will then meet the content standards. For example, we have PE 9 MS 1-2. Apply fundamental motor skills and complex skills needed to participate successfully in at least 3 lifetime activities. Then you would go on to develop the objective, which is, by the end of the semester, the student will be able to demonstrate 3 lifetime activities. And then you'd go on to develop lesson content and pick 3 lifetime activities that you would teach during the year. But what is standards-based grading? Standards-based grading is more complicated and more appropriate. And just these 3 ways, standard-based grading is more efficient. Standard-based grading relates grading to standards, so it leaves little room for interpretation. And it limits the factors in grading, which makes it a lot more simple and a lot more concise. And it also uses quality assessments, which means there's none of that eyeballing observations. There are specific things to look for, and there are specific things not to look for. There are advantages of standard-based PE. A few of them would be that there's a direct link to standards, therefore there's little room for interpretation. It's either there or it's not. Another advantage would be that it's simple. It's easy to pick up on, and teachers can easily apply this to their own grading. And lastly, it's clear. There is little room for interpretation, therefore it has to be clear. It's concise, and it lets you know exactly what you should be looking for. For additional resources, please check out these resources listed below.